My name is Ruth Ann Lane, and you are on the Elementary Project-Based Learning page. It's great to have you here today. Today we're going to be talking about some creative ways that you can use texts in your, I gotta pop up. Uh, in your PBL units for planning. I noticed that on our survey, many of you are doing science and social studies based project-based learning units, which is awesome. But sometimes when we get into those other core elements, it can be difficult to figure out how to tie in ELA and math. So today I wanted to kind of talk with you about some different ways that I use texts to support my PBL unit. And some of them are kind of givens, but a few of them are kind of, I think, unique, I don't know, ways that you can use them. I am going to put a link in the comments right now to the blog post I wrote. I wrote a blog post about this same topic with 8 different ways, and I'm just going to talk about 3 or 4 today. That way I don't babble on for forever. But the blog post has 8 different ways that you can utilize a text when you're planning your PBL unit. So check that out. I have some examples and some pictures and different things like that over on that. So be sure to give it a click. All right, let's go ahead and dive in, and we're going to talk about how to use text to support your PBL unit. I have my handy dandy notes, but I think I'll probably talk about 3 or 4 today. So the first one that I want to talk about is an entry event. Now, we've talked about this before, so I'm not going to talk about it for a really long time, but I do want to give you kind of like an example. And kind of a re-entry event, which we talked about last week. So if you're not familiar with what a re-entry event is, check out our video from last week where we talk about what a re-entry event is and kind of give you some examples of what those are. But a text can be used as an entry event. Many of you may know that already, but if you don't, I think reading a book can be a really powerful tool depending on the discussion that you have around that text and the quality of the text. So when you choose a book to be an entry event, it needs to be a book that is deep and high quality and really presents a problem well. I have an example of that. This book is called Why Should I Protect Nature? I feel like it's an excellent example of an entry event because it really talks with students about why they should protect nature and gets them thinking about, well, why should I protect nature? And, oh, I didn't know I needed to protect nature. And let's talk about how we can protect nature now that we know why. So this is a fantastic entry event text. Another example, and this is kind of more like a re-entry event. I chose this on purpose. Was Last Stop on Market Street. If you've ever read this book, I love this book. It's about a little boy and his grandmother who are walking through a town, and they're going to work at a food kitchen. And it's a fantastic text because it's kind of about perspective and the perspectives we have. And this text does a great job of kind of talking about a subject through a different light. So let's say you are doing a PBL unit that has to do with feeding the hungry, and you want your students to get reinvigorated. This is a great text for that because it lends itself to a lot of dialogue that would go along that topic. Okay. So text can be used as entry or re-entry events. So I would encourage you to try down that path for entry and re-entry events. All right, let's talk about another way that you can use a text in your PBL unit. Now I've talked about this before in videos, but if you're new, welcome, first of all. Second of all, we talk about something in PBL as PBL facilitators that we kind of refer to as planting seeds. And you do a lot of seed planting, especially in the primary grades, when it comes to a project-based learning unit, whether that is just kind of guiding questioning in the direction that you want it to go, or strategically reading an article or text a week before your entry event that maybe introduces the topic a little bit. I have a great book that kind of talks about planting seeds. You can plant seeds before a unit, but you can also plant seeds kind of during the beginning of the unit when your students are brainstorming, what should we do to answer this driving question? How are we going to solve this problem? An example of that, if you've never heard of it, it's called The Adventures of a Plastic Bottle. I love this book because it's all about recycling, and it talks about it's diary entries too. PS for any teachers that do friendly writing or friendly letters. Um, it talks about the process that I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, the process that a plastic water bottle goes through and the things that it can become. And I love this book because there are so many great um, PBL units where facilitators and students gather plastic bottles, plastic caps, and then they turn it into something useful for their school. So I would really encourage you to do something like that where you find like a text that maybe plants some seeds. I know when I taught first grade with my teaching partner, we would read a text before we did our entry event that was about planting a garden. It was actually from the Wonders series. It was called Yum Strawberries. My students loved this text because it was a reader's theater too. So it kind of not only grabbed their attention because, ooh, we're reading something a little bit differently, but also because it talks about a little girl who has a garden on her rooftop and about how patient she has to be while she's waiting for her strawberries to grow, and how the community kind of comes together and grows like cucumbers and tomatoes and different things. So it's a really great text to initiate a conversation about, wow, it would be really cool to grow a garden. I wonder if that's something that we could do. And then, the next week we start our garden unit with our entry event. And then all of the students are very excited because we just read about planting a garden. So planting seeds with a text can be a very powerful tool. All right, going to go on to my next and final one. Again, I came up with 8 of them on my blog post, but I don't want to ramble on for a long time. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of useful information, and hopefully if you like this, you'll check out that blog post to read a little bit more. But the final way that you can use a text is to kind of introduce a community partner, or to kind of talk about experts in a specific field. So as we're diving into a project-based learning unit, sometimes we have our community partners already chosen, and sometimes we find them along the way. I like to read informational text to answer need-to-knows with my students. Another way to use a text in a PBL unit. But one of the most common things that I find in informational texts is that if you look at them for a while and you look at them beforehand, you might find that it talks about the professionals that are solving the problems that your PBL unit relates to. So my example today, this is a very simple text. It's about sea turtles. It's a National Geographic kids book. And in it, one of the last chapters talks about people, talks about people who are removing oil from wildlife. And then it goes into some of the facilities that have rescue programs. So this is a great text for a topic like that, because now we're talking about, oh, there are people who run rescue programs. I wonder if those are people that we could reach out to be a community partner for our PBL unit about endangered animals. It doesn't even have to be that we're studying sea turtles. Maybe I just picked this book so that my students will consider something like a rescue facility for an endangered animal. So kind of guiding them there, or if your students are old enough, you can put a text like this in a book basket for your students to do in like a station, or have them complete a graphic organizer or asking and answering questions deal where they can kind of dive into the text and you're kind of leading that thought without being present. So these are different examples of how you can use a text to support your PBL unit. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that it was kind of short. I'm trying to work on being a little bit shorter so that then I don't gab at you for a long time. But if you enjoyed the things that I said, or maybe want to learn a little bit more about what I said, check out that post in the links below. As always, I will see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern for a live, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.